Welcome back to my BattleMap tutorial series. Today we are going to continue with our castle towers, or castle tutorial series. Previously we had created a full tower, and in my previous video I created a ruined tower. Today we are going to work on a fallen or collapsed tower. So, if you haven't watched my previous videos, you're probably going to want to watch those, as I will be using those as a starting point. So we're going to take our castle tower, which we previously created, and first thing we're going to do is we're going to save that off as a castle tower collapsed. Okay. And then, similar to our others, I forget if I did this guy, but we're going to want to get some selections going. Let's see if we already have them. No, we don't have them on this guy. So I want to save this selection. Okay, and then I'm going to also invert that. Okay, I'm going to select my ground layer. And we're going to copy that and paste that. Okay. And one other thing I want to do is I want to sort of keep this outer layer so it looks like we have part of a wall. So I'm actually going to move this guy down. Oops. Temporarily. Move him down. Collapse him. And then we're going to duplicate that layer, and actually we'll copy it because I need to back up. Okay, move that guy back up, and then we're going to go here and paste our new layer. So basically our layer, if you get rid of everything else, has this outer wall basically imprinted on it. We want to go back here, or we can just go there and select our inner circle, and we want to cut that from the middle here. Okay, looks like I've adjusted my layers slightly. Yeah, this guy looks like he's moved up a pixel. There we go. Okay, now these two shadow layers we're actually going to combine down with this guy, so we're going to combine those three. So basically we have a battlements layer, a wall layer, and so there's our wall layer, and this is our ground layer. Next, we also want to, as the tower collapses, it's going to expand out, so we want to increase our canvas size. I'm just going to expand mine double just to make it simple. And so again, so I've got room to collapse out. We're going to go to our fixture. This is going to, let's wall. Okay, and we're going to start breaking up the tower. So again, I'm just going to go like this and cut, paste, and then just cut. Whoops, go back to our fixture, paste. And so again, I'm just going to continue doing this if I'm on the right layer. And we'll make a big piece here. And now we're just going to cut off, and there. Paste. That we're just going to cut off. And we'll go there. Let's include a little bit more of that. There we go. And that we probably don't need, so we can just hide that. Okay. So now we'll go back up to our top, and we'll just drag him off to the side so we can get a visual look on him. And let's actually zoom in a little bit. And we're going to apply a drop shadow to him. Blending, drop shadow. And that looks a little bit too dark from my previous settings. And that looks about good. We're then going to copy that layer style. And we're basically going to apply that to all of our bricks, or all of our blocks so far. Not sure if there's an easier way to do this. If somebody knows of an easier way, they can post a comment in my tutorial. So now we're just going to sort of arrange these and grab them sort of as they come along, as we drill down through our stack. And sort of they expand out a little bit as they collapse. This guy we're going to leave somewhat intact because he's still part of a standing wall. Here we're going to go there. That's fine, and this guy will go over there. So again, you don't want them too. You don't like whether this piece like way over, because then it's how did that get over there? Okay, next we're gonna break up our tower wall, similar to this. And actually, I'm not gonna break it up. I'm mainly going to. So this guy you can sort of see was still standing, and so this is part of the wall that's still standing, and so we're just going to cut off parts of that. So, oops. Select. And there we go. Okay. So now one thing we want to do is we also want to add an inner shadow. So let's go select that. And control shadow to add layer, wall shadow, and now we basically want to go to our brush, and again opacity at 21%, flow again under 20%. Again, it's really how heavy of a hand do you have. We sort of just want to paste a little bit of a shadow because again this wall is still standing. Let's get that guy down so we can see where our wall is. Okay, and this is part of our wall, and we'll get a little outside shadow as well. But not as much, just a slight. Okay, so we'll put our floor back there, and so again from there. Now another thing you can do is apply some shadow overlays to this, depending upon your taste. I'm going to go to my overlays. How to create overlays is in another tutorial if you're not familiar with it. I'm going to grab a boulder overlay that I created, which is basically just a bunch of rocks. And we'll go back and drag that over to our shadow overlay. And it's way too big, obviously. But that's fine. We can shrink it down, and we didn't want to shrink it that much. Okay, and that looks pretty good. Now here I'm actually going to duplicate this layer and whoops, we don't want him linked, so I'm going to unlink him because all our float layers were linked previously. I'm going to put him so he's under the rubble. Okay, and so basically this is rubble that has collapsed. Okay. And actually, let's put that down right above there. I'm going to just adjust his contrast slightly. Okay. And basically, then we're going to apply some masks. And we're going to merge him down and apply a layer mask. So, and this I probably need to darken up a bit. Okay. So I want to get rid of the real hard stuff quickly. Oh, I'm on white. That's why I'm not seeing anything. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the edges real quickly because, again, we don't want this stuff there. Okay, now I'm going to lessen that up, get back down to my 20s, and there we go. And now I'm just going to start applying some random styles. There we go. Again, this is preference. You know, there's real no specific technical steps for it. You know, it's what you like. So if we zoom out, you know, basically we're seeing the collapsed rubble. Now we can actually duplicate that layer and then drag it over and, you know, do it here. And we can actually, I noticed that I have a bit of a wall here, so I'm just going to cut him out. Okay. And then we're going to go to this layer mask again and just apply a little bit different layer mask so it doesn't look exactly the same. Okay, so again, there we go. And so when we zoom out, basically we got rubble. Now again, so here's our fairly solid wall. You know, and again, it really depends on what exactly you're looking for. So I'm doing something a little bit slightly different than my previous one. I'm going to have a partially intact wall. So when I'm done with this. Now we also need to get our planks. And so these are basically the wood that was in there for the support structure. Obviously, you should have these from the previous tutorial, or you can create your own wood planks. Again, I've got a tutorial on how to create wood planks. So again, where'd my wood plank go? There he is. Probably should label that. Just wood. And so again, I've got a couple structures coming out. I'm going to create a couple of the standing wall that's still part standing, and then I'll actually cut these guys down. Paste him. And then I'll just cut this guy down. Oops. Make sure I'm back on my wood layer. And we'll do a little bit more on that first guy. Okay. And again, I'm going to copy my layer shadow or style. I'm going to apply it to my cut pieces. There we go. Okay, and I'm actually going to darken some of these up. Okay, and I'm probably going to apply some burnt layers to it. Okay, so there's my other wood. So again, we're going to cut him up. Oh, and one of the things I forgot is our stairs. It's probably had some, oops, stairs in there. So again, we'll apply that. Oops, wanted to connect those. And we'll go like this for our last guy. Okay, so again, with those three layers, we're going to apply our shadow. Whoops. Paste style, and paste style. Give it a little drop shadow. And we'll just angle those off. And we'll just zoom out, see how we like those. And it looks pretty good. Now also, I'm going to have a little bit of a floor here. So I'm going to go back to my ground layer. And I'm just going to select along that edge, and we're going to copy that from the ground, and we'll bring that up above our wood layers, actually all of our wood layers, but below our wall shadow, and we're going to give him a drop shadow as well. There we go, looks good. And just maybe expand him out a little bit. Okay. Oops. And that looks good. So again, now we also forgot our stairs. So let's go back to our swamp room, or our, which one? Our ruin tower. Find our stair levels, which again, it helps if you label things like I always suggest. Stairs. And we'll save him off, and then we'll just drag him over. And we'll put him there, but we're going to bury him down at the bottom. Whoops, too far. We'll actually, we sort of want a little bit of that showing. So we're going to go back to this layer mask. Just go there, and then on this side, and let's actually duplicate that layer again. We'll put, you know, more rubble in the middle. Let's rotate him around a little bit so again, it doesn't look exact. We're gonna, oops, stairs above the one, but below, actually we'll just put it above. No, we'll put, darn it, how are we doing this? Yeah, it's this guy we wanna just erase. I'm going to get my flow a bit higher. There's my stairs going down. I'm going to erase a little bit there. Okay, so we got a little bit of a stair going there. Now I probably want to put a little drop shadow on there as well. So again, just along the two sides of the stairs. Okay. And that's looking pretty good for a collapsed tower. But I'm missing a couple rocks outside. So what I'm going to do is just again go down to my ground layer and select a few pieces. Copy, paste, or actually, since I already have these guys, I'm just going to duplicate them again. Whoops. And we're going to drag him out, and we'll just reposition him, and I'm going to delete the layer mask and reapply it. So again, it's sort of unique. And get to my brush, hard edge there. Let's actually boost this guy up, do it a little bit. There we go. Okay, we're going to drop him back down again, down 20s. Probably get him down as well. Okay. And again, this is just your preference. You know, how much ruin rubble do you want lying out there? So again, when we zoom out, it still seems a little bit too heavy. So again, just go back to my brush and apply a little bit here. And zoom out. I'm going to grab this piece here. I'm just going to drag him over a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay. Now again, so here I have this wall, this inner wall, but it doesn't look collapsed. You know, it looks too fabricated. So again, I'm going to go to my shadow overlays, and I'm going to, I know I have one out here somewhere. It's basically a collapsed wall, and try and find it. As you can see, I've got lots of different overlays I've made throughout all this time, and I'm not, here it is, fallen wall. Okay, so we're going to drag that over, and again, obviously way too big, so we're going to resize that. I'm going to actually shrink him down very much. And here, and then I need to darken him quite a bit, it looks like. Contrast. I may have to do this a couple times. Let's just adjust that again. Make it a bit darker. Higher contrast. Okay, that looks a little bit better. And I probably could apply that same overlay as well to it. It's really just preferences. I like variants and things. So there we have our collapsed tower. So again, what you want to do is label it, put it in a group. And then usually you want to link all the layers. So when you move it, so if we go back to my overlay, let's actually just go back to ruins. Yeah, I can then just go up, select that, drag that group over. And so here's a tower. So it's not as collapsed as my previously one, but dropping it in there, obviously it doesn't look all that bad. You know, even as that, you know, probably if I didn't have all the other rubble around there would be good. So that's our tutorial for today. And I'll work on collapsed walls and the drawbridge next for creating this. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.